I'm Tim Jemal, trustee candidate, South Orange County Community College District, and you are watching Facets Television.
Welcome. I'm Kevin McDonald and you're watching Facets Television, and with me tonight is Timothy Jemal. Tim is running for South Orange County trustee for the Orange County Community College District, and we are going to be talking about the issues that are challenging our community colleges tonight and why he's running for office. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Kevin, pleasure to be here. Thanks
I
for
really
having
appreciate it. And so I hear you got in just under the wire, is that true?
I did. A couple of years ago, I actually was up for an appointment to become the trustee in January of 2010, and the trustees actually ended up selecting someone else, Mike Meldau, who decided not to stand for election.
Okay.
That decision wasn't made known till about August 14th or 15th, and I got asked by a couple of people who I'm close to, who are close to the Saddleback College, and said, "You would be a good candidate. Why don't you consider running? You have 24 hours to decide." And I thought about it and thought about the issues that were facing the district and decided I wanted to do it. Jumped in the race.
So what you're saying is the guy that was appointed for the seat that's sitting right now is not running?
He's still a trustee,
okay,
but he's not running for election.
All right. So who are you running against?
So there are three other candidates in the race. The most prominently known candidate is John Williams, former administrator for the County of Orange. And he is well known for some of his actions taken as Orange County Public Administrator. And
is that the same John Williams who basically was run out due to the bad reports that came out with the grand jury and some of the other challenges that he had when he was running as a public administrator? I mean,
he did not leave in good standing with the Board of Supervisors.
Well, that's a nice way to say it. Okay.
I'm trying to promote my candidacy,
all
but
right,
you know, I think the contrast between Mr. Williams and myself is pretty clear.
Okay. I'll let you stay with that position. That's okay.
I appreciate that, Kevin.
All right.
I'm a person that believes in transparency, honesty, and forthrightness when you're talking about the public trust.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a seat where we're serving the public. We're serving the communities of South Orange County. And if that trust is ever breached, then we lose our authority to represent them in the best way possible. And so while my main opponent clearly has issues relating to trust and public trust, that's not going to be an issue for me. I'm not going to be locked out of my office by my supervisors. I'm going to be accountable to the electorate and to the communities at large who we represent.
So what's involved in being a trustee?
So there are 7 trustees that govern the South Orange County Community College District. So put this in perspective. There are 26 communities within the South Orange County Community College District, over 600,000 residents, 68,000 students each year come through the 3 colleges in the district: Saddleback College, Irvine Valley College, and the Advanced Technology and Education Park. And the role of the trustees is to oversee all of the policies and the strategic direction of the university, including a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers. So,
which is where the term trustee comes in.
And that's where the term trustee comes in. It's a pretty solemn responsibility when you think about it,
right?
Because these colleges are indispensable to many of the students who go there, because they're seeking a lot of different things, and we can get into that. But they're basically seeking either a better life, transition to a four-year university, lifelong learning, or basic skills to get them to the next level of employment. So the trustees have a significant role in making sure the university, the colleges are accountable to the taxpayers, and in putting forth policies that promote business growth, economic development, and quality education.
So let's talk about your background a little bit. What in your background makes you qualified to be a trustee?
Well, first of all, I have an undergraduate degree from Michigan State University in my home state of Michigan, where I grew up, but have lived here in Mission Viejo now for over 13 years. I attended community colleges in the state of Michigan, and what I found is that their teachers were really excellent. And I without a community college in Michigan, I wouldn't have been able to go to the next level in the courses that I took. I have a graduate degree from George Washington University in Washington, D.C. in international business. And I've spent a lot of time in my career working on issues relating to innovation in education, promoting a 21st century workforce over the last 10 years, and making sure that our country and our region here in Orange County is prepared to face the challenges. And the challenges are daunting. There are challenges within our country domestically, and there are challenges internationally. There are countries we all are aware of, China, India, Singapore, Australia, that are aggressively promoting careers in science, technology, and engineering, putting a lot of resources into it. We have to meet those challenges, and the best way to meet those challenges is to promote world-class education. And there are three pillars of higher education here in California: the UC system, CSU system, and the community college system. And if we don't have all three of those at a high level, we will fall behind.
And without the community colleges, many will never get to the other two at all. They will never have even an opportunity to come close.
And look at the numbers.
Yeah.
So statewide in California right now, we have about 2.5 million students in the community college system. I mean, that's a significant number. And if we don't increase the success rate of those students, then we're not going to meet the challenges that employers have of finding the right employees. We're not going to be able to meet the challenges we're facing internationally. And it's going to put us in a position of catch-up vis-a-vis all of these elements that are out there. And so I feel like education is the key to our future success as a country and to all of the students. And you know, I'm really excited because the South Orange County Community College District, if you look at the region here, everything south of the 55 is the South Orange County Community College District. So we're looking at a very diverse community within the district. Diverse in terms of the demographics, people who live there, also diverse in terms of the employers.
Right.
We have employers that are technology-based, healthcare, life sciences. We have, of course, the major research university at University of California, Irvine. And so there are opportunities for us to enrich this community college district in ways I think that haven't been done before. That's what I want to do, to bring that energy and vision to say, look at the 21st century. How do we make sure this community college district is serving these students in the best way possible? And there are a lot of challenges, and we can maybe get into that.
Yeah, I was going to get into some of that now, too. I mean, I know that my oldest daughter just graduated. She started out in the community college system and then moved on to Chapman's Brandman program and graduated just last month, in fact. Which
Congratulations.
I'm super excited about. And the community college actually allowed her to save probably $90,000 on her program because she did her general ed in the community college program, then did well enough to get into the UC or into the university, which was a private school. But now my youngest one is now in the nursing program in the community college program, which she may not even need to go to the university. So here's an opportunity for her to get into a very good paying job But our concern right now is the availability of classes. So I'd like to get into how do we deal with those challenges in the program.
It is a big challenge, and I think that you hit on some of the things, the themes that are so important. And one is that affordable education. Education has to be affordable. And if education is affordable, that will increase earnings and decrease reliance on government programs. That's proven. That as your education, the more education you get, the more employable you are, the more upwardly mobile you will be, and the more you'll be able to, the more you will have the ability to earn a family wage, a wage to provide for a family. And so the way to increase access to these classes is to manage our resources really well fiscally. You have to be fiscally very responsible in managing the resources. All of the revenues that come for the South Orange County Community College District come from local property taxes. And so it's imperative that as we look at the future, that we do so in a way that increases the number of classes for those areas that are most likely to provide employment and growth. And I was asked recently by one of the faculty members, what do you mean by growth? Well, growth to me means those sectors of the economy that clearly where there is a dearth of where jobs are not currently being filled at the pace that is needed by employers.
In IT, for example, we have a massive number of jobs in internet and advanced technologies. In our particular case, internetworking and networking services. We've had job recs open that range between $50,000 and $100,000 plus for months.
Well, and you look at the
and we
numbers,
can't find anybody to fill the roles.
Right, and so you
And
look
they
at
wonder why we're outsourcing. It's like,
well, and that's another issue we can touch on. I mean, you look at nationwide, there's some I think 2 million jobs which are not currently being filled that are where they're advertising for employment opportunities. Within the 2 million, over 300,000 are IT related. So we have a skills gap. Right. So how do you fill that skills gap? So some would argue we need to increase high-skilled immigration. Let in
temporarily, maybe, I would agree.
the people that are educated here who happen to be foreign-born. They need to be, there's the argument that we need to increase the number of foreign-born nationals that are allowed to stay here and work here. Okay. My position is that we need to focus on the domestic side, which is that there is a reason, we need to figure out why is it that we're not graduating enough students to fill these kinds of positions. And to address that issue, at the center of it is the community college system. Because what you have in South Orange County is a small campus, but a very important element of the district, which is called the Advanced Technology and Education Park. There's 68 acres in Tustin. Most of your viewers probably have never heard of this park.
Yeah, even
They've
the
heard of
people in the
Saddleback
technology
College.
industry haven't even heard of it.
They've heard of Saddleback College, Irvine Valley College, but they haven't heard of this park. And what you have is, and I visited it the other day, I spent about an hour and a half there touring the facilities, and it's a wonderful opportunity to advance career technical education and to use that college as a springboard for providing skills that your company needs and other technology firms need to partner with the business community. I think one of the challenges that the community colleges face is they don't know what employers want.
Right.
And,
I would agree with
and
that.
And for me as a trustee,
And there's a lot of talk about STEM, and there's a major gap between the STEM reality, which is high-end science engineering and high-end development of new chips and high-end development of new systems, and the reality of administration and support and implementation of the systems we already have. So there's this confusion in the education system that we think we need super scientific engineers. Yes, we do. Absolutely need them. But we also need those people to maintain, develop, and support the systems that we currently have.
Well said.
And that's a major problem.
Well said. And I think it mirrors this, I talk about the 3 pillars. There's the UC, the research universities are doing tremendous work.
Yeah.
Incredible, high-level, science-based research that perhaps now we're not going to see the commercialization of it, but we will down the road.
Right.
Then you have the CSU system, which provides a little bit of both practical education and also research as well. And then you have the community colleges. And of course, what we want is for the students to come there, we want them to be able to transition to four-year universities. And that's imperative. And then, but at the same time, we need to find out how are we going to train them to be the workforce that you discussed. And this is a huge effort, and there's a huge opportunity here. There really is. There hasn't been a lot of conversations between the college districts and the leaders, business leaders of this county. And you know, if I'm a trustee, I will make that happen. I will make sure those conversations happen, and I will be sure that the administration is steered in the right direction. Because if we don't have quality education, if our children, and I know there are a lot of parents that watch your show, if we don't provide them the access at all levels of the educational infrastructure, then our future is in peril.
So let's get into a little bit of that. I mean, that is a pretty that's a pretty strong statement, and I want folks to understand what makes you believe you're capable of facilitating such a thing. I know you have the history, so why don't you tell folks a little bit about where you've come from that makes you believe you can facilitate such a discussion?
That's a great question. So for many years I served as the executive director of the American Electronics Association of Orange County, representing all segments of technology, IT, life sciences, medical devices, software and hardware. And basically I put in place a lot of very innovative partnerships between the business community and education. At the K-12 level, we initiated what's called the Project Tomorrow Innovation in Education Awards, whereby all of the high school students and principals and administrators in the K-12 system of Orange County participated in a county-wide competition to see who could provide the most innovative project possible related to science, technology, and engineering. One, we're looking for the right talent. Two, we want to inspire.
Right. And
then three, we want to motivate. We inspire the kids and we motivate the teachers to be better, to do better, to seek to be better innovators, better educators. So that's something that I've done. I work with the UCI system to create a collaborative program to train engineers how to be better managers of people. Because one of the challenges that I hear from employers all the time is that we have really talented engineers. They know the technology well, but they have a difficult time communicating.
Yeah, the emotional IQ of the stop sign is generally what we hear in the engineering world. I mean, not to be offensive, but it just is what it is. They're not in that genre. They don't come from that side of the world. They're focused on the mechanics and the science, and they're not dealing with the human factors. And so unless you try to lead that side of that person, they generally don't even think about it unless are they actually focused on being good at it.
That's what I was hearing from the employers.
Yeah.
And about a few years ago, I produced a documentary on the issue of American competitiveness and the challenges we're facing from China and India and Japan and Singapore.
Yeah, there was a 1,000,000 minutes video that came out at one point about how the Chinese student does 1,000,000 more minutes than our students do by the time they get out of high school. And 1,000,000 minutes of school is a long time.
It is a long time. And
they have more students graduating with honors than we have students graduating. So well, that's a really difficult thing to hear.
It is. It's hard to hear. It's hard to hear when the countries that graduate maybe 3 times more engineers that we have, like a Japan or a China, and I think it's a wake-up call. Yeah. And what I did with the American Electronics Association with the business community is say, hey, look, here's education here, you're over here. The business community expressed frustration in that they said that we have tried that in the past. We've tried to reach out to educators in the past and it hasn't quite worked because of the bureaucracy or some problem. And I said, no, we can make it work. And I think it's going to take perseverance. I actually got together the former superintendent of public education for Orange County, Bill Habermill, who recently retired. Bill is supporting me and I'm grateful for that. I actually got him together with several of the leading CEOs of the tech companies, and we met on a quarterly basis to try to figure out what's going on in the K-12 system in Orange County and how can we better prepare these students for potential careers for these local companies. Because ultimately with the community college district, what we want to do is promote local economic development.
Well, and we'd like to have our kids be able to stay here. I mean, part of the problem with Orange County in general is that we find kids are born here, they grow up and they can't stay because they can't afford to live here, and that's an unfortunate factor of our living environment. With the few minutes that we have left, or a couple of minutes that we have left, I want you to have an opportunity to be concise about, with the exception of the clear trust factor, and I want to say I've read enough about John Williams to understand that there's a challenge that he's going to have in having anybody trust him. But I'd like you to tell me what makes you better at being qualified for this role than he is.
I think what the public wants and what I will do, and I've been doing it already, and I'll say it to you here, is to tell the truth. Mm-hmm. When you're dealing with the public trust, when you're dealing with taxpayers' dollars, you want to tell them the truth. And if you do, good things will happen both for the community and good things will happen for the college district. Two, I believe really very strongly in transparency, so that all the actions that we take should be under the public eye and available for the public to see. I think if your transparency in what you do and the decisions you make and in how you allocate the dollars of the taxpayers, then you're going to engender further trust from the electorate. Mm-hmm. Without transparency, that can foment and breed distrust, and we don't want to see that. And then the issue of integrity. I mean, this is an office where you serve the public. You mentioned my opponent, or my main opponent, I should say.
Right.
And clearly there have been challenges with maintaining a high level of public trust. You won't see that in me. I intend to have office hours. There are students where I will welcome students, the electorate, business leaders to come in and talk about their challenges and how we can, as trustees, set forth policies that will improve quality of life in the region. There are students now. I'm reaching out to students at Saddleback College, Irvine Valley College, the Advanced Technology and Education Park. They don't even know there are trustees.
Right, right.
And to me, that's unacceptable. Now, you might say, a trustee may say, well, I don't want them to know who I am, because if they know who I am, then they're going to start asking me questions that I don't want to answer.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that way. Well, I spoke to a group of students the other day, and they had a lot of concerns. Access to quality textbooks, quality faculty, recruiting and retaining quality faculty, making sure textbooks are affordable so that they're accessible and affordable. Right. How could we not deal with those issues? Right. These are fundamental. And I couldn't answer all of the questions. I'm not yet a trustee, but if I am, these are the kinds of issues that will come up where I'll take action.
Well, I appreciate your coming in, and I do appreciate too that these opinions are the opinion that I raised, or the opinions of the grand jury and other folks, and that you didn't, ask me to raise those issues, but I had to raise them. I read this stuff. It seems to me that it's a big question around your opponent. So, and I appreciate that you didn't ask that to be raised. So, I appreciate you coming in and talking with us.
Really, thanks.
Good luck in your candidacy.
Thank you, Kevin.
I'm Kevin McDonald. You've been watching Facets Television, and I've been talking with Tim Jemal, candidate for South Orange County Community College trustee.